Hello and welcome to a information session where I'm going to talk to you about some really amazing new science. I'm going to talk to you about the ways that you can actually change your life for the better, how to optimize your body, your mind and performance, and how to alter your gene structure. But before I start, I just want to say that I am not going to claim to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease with anything that I'm going to be talking about tonight. But I will claim that I'm going to give you information that you are going to be wowed about and information that you will want to spread to everybody that you know to make them healthy and well. But before I go any further, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Gail Pearson. I'm an anaesthetist, which means that I'm medically qualified and done a specialist degree as well. I practice in New Zealand, and I've looked at something that is actually very different. I love science, and so when I saw this, I was absolutely over the moon that at last the medical world is taking notice of ongoing trends and what the future is going to hold for us. Now, during this time, what we've found is that we've had a good time for reflection, and we know what we can control in terms of our environment and in terms of our personal things that we can control. So we can have fresh air, we can go outside and we can breathe the oxygen, we can go to the beach and have that beautiful sea air, we can have clean air, either be filtered or non-polluted, however you may take it, because our body's made up of at least 50% of water. We can have sunshine. Going outside in the sun is so rejuvenating, and it also increases our vitamin D levels. The personal factors that we can do is we can get good sleep and plenty of sleep. We can have a healthy diet with lots of fresh fruit and veggies. That gives us the vitamins and minerals that we need, and moderate exercise. So daily exercise, just even walking, is great for our endorphins, great for our state of mind, and great for our general well-being. But today I'm going to talk about the seventh doctor, and it's biohacking, and that's looking at your genes, and that's looking at the future. It's looking at what we're going to do in the future in terms of altering your genetic health and your genetic structure. This is a new science, and this is extremely exciting, and I'm privileged to be a part of it. So the science is called Nutrigenomics, and basically it's the study of effects of food and food compounds on gene expression. Nutrition or nutrients, genomics. Now, the genes are those very small, tiny little building blocks of the DNA that make up who we are. They reside in the nucleus of our cells, and they are the ones that we are influencing in order to have this great effect on our general well-being. So how do we do it? Well, the NRF2 pathway is something that was not around when I was at medical school. And I'm going to show you how profound this is and what an amazing discovery this pathway was. Because in 2015, Washington State University showed that this NRF2 pathway is a master regulator of detoxification, also an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and cytoprotective, which means it protects the cells. Okay, so we've got something that will not only vacuum clean and clean up the cells, but it will protect the cells and it will produce antioxidant enzymes so that you can clean up all of the free radicals that are running around your body, which are millions and millions and absolutely billions and probably trillions. So they said in their concluding remarks, NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, I want you to break that up. So therapeutic, so that's treating things. Preventative, that's preventing things. This is medicine in a nutshell. What have we got here? We have got something that is actually going to change the whole focus of how people live and how people live their lives so that they can be healthy, and how they can be healthy going forward in terms of living the life that they want to live, being healthy right up until when you actually depart this earth. It is incredibly exciting. So let's have a look at what happens when you don't have enough antioxidant enzymes. Well, if you don't have enough antioxidant enzymes, and when you're about 20 to 25, you start losing your ability to produce antioxidant enzymes. So if you add to that the environmental stresses, be that Wi-Fi, be that pollution, be that petrol, be that herbicides, pesticides, I add psychological stresses, stressful jobs, stressful relationships, and other toxins, what do we get? We get more free radicals, we get more oxygen-free radicals. And what do? They damage our cells, and therefore we age more quickly, and it has more aging effects on our body. So as you can see on the left, that's a normal cell, nice and round, the nucleus is in green, and it's looking pretty nice and really just nicely well formed. If we have free radicals attacking that cell, now look what's happened. The organelles, which are the little brown things, are now starting to come out of the cell. The nucleus, the green one, is misshapen. The cell wall, or the outside blue part of the cell, is all now misshapen as well. It's not going to produce proper enzymes. It's not going to produce proteins that it needs to. It's not going to replicate properly. If we take it further and we look at cells with oxidative stress, they're a mess. And this happens in every single cell of your body if you have oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is when that balance is all out of balance. We know that life is all about balance, but when the amount of oxygen-free radicals exceed the capacity to neutralize them, that's what we call oxidative stress. And what I'm going to talk about tonight is the product that reduces oxidative stress. And that's the building block of everything of what we're doing in life. So as I said, oxidative stress affects every part of the body, be it the cells, and they make up the tissues, make up the organs, they make up body systems. And I want to have you to have a look at that diagram on the left and a few examples of some of these structures that it does affect in the body. Also, look at the gut one. It changes your microbiome. So oxidative stress will change your gut flora. Now, we know increasingly that gut flora is really important for health, and oxidative stress changes that. What does it also do? It changes your skin texture. We know that when you get older, that your skin gets a little bit more elastic and a little bit more wrinkly, but those are the effects of oxidative stress. We know that if you've lived a very good, healthy life, you've decreased your oxidative stress as much as you can, but you need that extra third for the genes to come into play. That extra third is very, very important. So how much do we have? Well, this is for the accountants in you. We have approximately 37.2 trillion cells, and we potentially have millions of free radicals in every cell. So that's over 3.72 quintillion free radicals. Now, if we take blueberries, and people will say, oh, well, I have a healthy diet, I'm great, I eat lots of fresh fruit and veggies. They can only neutralize on a one-to-one basis. So a punnet of blueberries would only actually neutralize 6,700 antioxidants. Look how many we've actually got. We've got in the quintillions. So it's really a spit in the bucket. It's not going to do what we need to do to our body to maximize how to be healthy. So this is new. Activation. We're not supplementing, we're activating. We are activating a pathway, the NRF2 pathway, which is a protein within the cells, and we are not just supplementing. This is a whole new way of looking at it, and I'm delighted to present this to you tonight. And as I said, you know, direct antioxidants work on a one-to-one basis, but NRF2 activation, 1,000,000 to 1. It's phenomenal. And it's backed up scientifically. So this is just an example of some of the studies that have been done. These are independent studies. These have been done by reputable universities or reputable hospitals, and they've been put in really good journals. So to get a peer-reviewed study, you have to actually, it's not something you can just put on and just publish like a blog. It has to be reviewed by all of your colleagues, and they have a panel, and they will go backwards and forwards, and only then will they allow it to be published. So this Protandim has a huge amount of backup, independent studies. These are not company-led, these are independent studies. So we can see that it's come out through the circulation of the American Heart Association. Exercise and Sports Science Reviews, Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity. There are no other things on the market that has this much scientific backup. I've been through all of these studies, and what I saw which is why I first got into this, is that I saw that we finally had something that had some very strong science behind it, and it was product specific. And to have that in this market is just unheard of. So let's have a look at some human cells. And please excuse me because this is a little bit simplified, but what I want to explain to you is really where it all happens in the cell. So this is a cell, or you can see the cell wall is that orange thing around the outside. The purple thing is the nucleus. It's got lots of other organelles, but I'm not going to go into them because we're just going to talk about the nucleus and the mitochondria, which are those bean-shaped orange things up in the top right-hand corner. Now, the NRF2 protein, which we talked about earlier on, sits at the cell wall, so it's always there. But what we're doing with activation is we're activating it, we're releasing it from that cell wall so that it can undergo a series of reactions to go to the nucleus and basically give the nucleus instructions as to what it should be. To say, hey, we need to turn on or flip the switch to making antioxidant enzymes again. We need to be looking at all of the genes that have actually gone dormant and activating them again, because that's how our cells used to function and we want to do it again. So that's where the protein sits and that's how it activates within the cell. So what is it? Well, it's called protandem, and our flagship one's protandem NRF2. Now this first came into being hugely in 2005 when there was an ABC documentary. And you can Google that. It's an ABC documentary on protandem. There was an investigative reporter who came in who wanted to debunk the whole thing, saying it was absolute rubbish. And he put himself up for taking this and having a blood test every day. Well, after 30 days, his oxidative stress levels had decreased by 45% on blood test. So all of a sudden, this goes on the widespread media on the TV, and the sales went through the roof. So that's 15 years ago. Now, if you want to watch that video, that's great. It is old, but the science is much more recent than that, and we've had more and more backup in terms of the NRF2 activation. So we can reduce our oxidative stress. We've finally got something that we can prove that we can reduce oxidative stress. There have been subsequent studies in all sorts of age groups, even 80-year-olds can still reduce the oxidative stress. So it's not just if you're young and fit and healthy, it's for everybody. And you might say, well, what's it made up of? It's completely natural. So it's made up of turmeric, which we know is a great antioxidant, milk thistle, which we know is a great liver cleanser, green tea, another antioxidant, bacopa and ashwagandha, which are great for mental clarity, hormonal balance. And turmeric, of course, has got an anti-inflammatory properties as well. And you might say, well, that's great, but I think I can get all of those and I use turmeric already and it seems great for me. I think I'll just use those ones that I get from the health store shop. No, not going to work. Because what they did, and this is a patented formula, there are multiple patents out for this formula because they put it all together, and together there's an 18-fold increase in its activity. So if you look at the red bar on the top, that's it put together. The other little blocks are the ones that are individual agents. So if you take protandem, 18 times increase in the expression of antioxidant genes. So what does it do? Well, most people will find that your sleep is better, not longer, but better. It reduces aches and pains, so you tend to jump out of bed rather than get out of bed with a few aches and groans. It aids with low mood and anxiety, healthy liver function, healthy digestion. Remember we talked about the microbiome and how oxidative stress influences the microbiome. Better performance and recovery. People find that they recover much better and faster from physical exercise and that their endurance is much better. You don't get as much brain fog in the afternoon. And as we know, it protects against oxidative stress, cytoprotective, cellular protection. So why is it different? Well, we've said before, it combats oxygen-free radicals. There are patents and there is lots of scientific studies. Those are the difference with this. It also increases glutathione, which is the master antioxidant enzyme. And it is very topical at the moment. A lot of people talk about glutathione because it's really important in high-level sports. You can't take it orally because it gets broken down in the stomach acid. What does protandem do? It increases glutathione by 300%. 300% glutathione, master antioxidant enzyme. Okay, but that's not all. Let's have a look at the NRF1. Now, this is another protein, and remember when we looked at the cell, we looked at those little orange beans, which are called mitochondria. They are the powerhouses of the cell. What they do is they create the energy. So they're like the petrol in the car. They're called mitochondria, and they produce a energy substance called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. And what that does is it gives every cell energy, and the mitochondria also are responsible for making proteins and enzymes and giving the cell, telling it what to do. They replicate. And so what you will find is that the organs which need the most energy will have the most mitochondria. So in some organs of the body, for example, the heart, each cell will have thousands of mitochondria in it because it needs the energy. If those mitochondria are damaged or if they don't replicate properly, you don't get the energy. And that's not good for your overall functioning. Again, it's all natural. It's made up of acetylcarnitine, coenzyme Q10, grape extract, which is resveratrol, which we know is a good antioxidant, quercetin, and alpha-lipoic acid, which is amino acid. So again, completely natural. It doesn't have any gluten, wheat, dairy, or yeast, and it's 100% vegetarian. So remember, I've said it repairs and replenishes your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cell. Especially important for people who are living stress lives, but it also improves your overall well-being. And what does it do? It's different because it works as well with the NRF2. We're getting a double whammy here. To support your mitochondrial function and to support your nuclear function in terms of making your own antioxidant enzymes, as well as being a master genetic regulator. So we've got the NRF2 synergizer at a genetic level, and we've got the NRF1 energizer at a mitochondrial level. That will give you full activation for anti-aging, health, and well-being. It's the ultimate. And they actually work together. So what you find is that the NRF1 will actually open up the mitochondria so the NRF2 can get into the mitochondrial DNA or genes and give them instructions. So we have something that is what we call synergistic or additive. They work together. And cellular health isn't about one thing, it's jigsaw puzzles. And what we're finding more and more are there are different pathways for cellular health. These are two pathways for cellular health. The next pathway for cellular health is the probio. Now remember we talked about oxidative stress and NRF2 activation and the gut. Well, we need a healthy gut. So we need to replace those bacteria that have been destroyed over the years with healthy bacteria. And that's where our probio comes in. Why is it good and why is it important? It's got a coating that stops it from being dissolved in the stomach acid for 52 minutes, whereas most usual probios are dissolved within 6 minutes. And it also doesn't have to be kept in the fridge. What it is good about is it gets the bacteria that we need to the appropriate place in an appropriate time. So what else can we ask for? We can ask for NRF2 activation of our skin. And so this company's brought out what they call the True Science Beauty System, which also works on the NRF2 activation. And what it does is it goes on the pathway and it goes really deep into your cells to act on the very deep layers of your cells to activate the genetic structure within your dermal layer. That's the deep layers of your skin. It's incredible, it's beautiful, and if you do any skincare, this is the one you want to use. It's non-toxic, it's got all natural ingredients, and I can't recommend it highly enough. So basically what we're looking at is health span, as I said to start off with. We want to live healthy, and we want to live not necessarily longer, but the length of our life has to be one that we want to live. So our goal is to die young as late as possible. And the idea is to age well and keep healthy and use everything in your doctor's bag. And what I've given you today is another tool to use in your doctor's bag, which a lot of people do not know about. And so you have the edge, you have the jump on everybody else because you can actually change your genes. You can actually alter your genetic structure, and that is powerful. Thomas Edison, smart people, you know, they were always smart in the past. He said the doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but will rather cure and prevent disease with nutrition. And we're now getting the scientific backup to say that, yes, he was right. And yes, this is the time. And yes, we are ready because we're not doing it right. We need to move forward. We need to do it differently. And so today we've talked about oxidative stress, biohacking, nutrigenomics, and NRF2 activation. But what I want to go on next is to how you could start doing this. Well, easy. Just go back to the person who recommended you to watch this video and they'll show you how to start as a customer. They have their own website. You can just log on to their website or they'll send you a link. There's no fees to join. You can have whatever product you like. You can change your order. You can cancel your order. It's like walking into a shop, except it's virtual. So don't worry about anything. It's all secure and you can get the products that you want easily at the click of a button delivered to your door. It's easy. Now, what I also want to do now is just to go on to a little bit about LifeVantage, because when I started this, I was so enamored with the products and the science that I thought, oh my goodness, I'm in this. And I became a distributor straight away. Why did I do that? Because I understood that this was going to be something that's big and something that's a future. And I'm always an early adapter. I always can see things that are going to happen before they actually happen. And I wanted to embrace this fully. So, as I said before, this company was founded in 2003. So it's not a company that's been around forever, but it is an established company. 2005, they aired that ABC primetime video, which is what I referred to before. And then in 2009, they went over to network marketing. Now, I'm not a business person. I'm not a network marketer. I've never done business in my life. And so to me, I had no worry about doing this business model because why would I? The product is so good. I didn't care how it was sold. I just wanted to get it out to as many people as possible. But what I've found recently is that this model is actually incredible and it changes people's lives because it gives people's financial freedom. It gives them the ability to have the life they want to need, not only physically or emotionally or mentally, but also financially. So they have a plan B. So no longer do they have to worry if they're going to lose their job. No wonder they have to worry if their small business is going to fold. This is a business that goes on during any shutdown. This is a business that can keep on going and can keep on paying you leveraged income, even when you're not working it. Sure, you've got to put some time in, but that's the same with anything. But to me, I think that this is such a great company that I want to talk a little bit more about the company now. It's explosive at the moment. It's just opening in more and more countries each year. And when you have a company that's opening in different countries each year, start to think something's going on here. The share price is just rocketing. I think the share price at the moment is about $16 US. It really has gone up even in this difficult time. The share price has just absolutely rocketed. And what does that tell me? This tells me that this is a solid company. This tells me this is a company which has no debt. This tells me that a company is well respected. It's on the NASDAQ, which is the stock exchange in New York. So it's a publicly traded company. Everything is above board. And it's with the trends. So everything these days is on the net or is on your computer. You can do your business with a laptop and a phone. That's all. Airbnb, Uber. It's the biggest taxi company. How many taxis they own? None. Airbnb. How many hotels do they run? None. So it's a new way of doing business. It's a world trends. And it's time to start to think of things differently. And I think that we've had the reflection time to be able to do that now. So this is available in lots of different countries in the world, about 24 countries. And as I said, there are more and more opening each year. These are a list of them. Currently, we've been in New Zealand since November of last year, and already it's taking off. As more people understand what it's all about, and as more people understand what nutrigenomics and NRF2 activation and NRF1 activation is all about, and how to live healthy through your genes. So, people say, well, it's network marketing, it's no good. Look, let's look at the facts. These companies are established. These companies have been around for a long time. They pay out 40% in commissions. It is an increasing way of doing work. And the supplement or the natural product world is just exploding, and it will be a huge thing in days to come. So you say, well, why would you do this? Well, first of all, I talked about the product, and I love the product, so I have no worries whatsoever about the product. I've told you about the company, that it's publicly traded, that it's got a great rating, it's young, but it's not new. It's got a very inclusive culture. And so what that means is that you become part of the LifeVantage family. They support you, they mentor you. The timing is right. We're at the early stages here. And it's really important that you understand that if you're in something in the early phases and you put the work in, that's where the rewards are due. People say, well, I can't do this. I didn't know I could do this. I said, I can't do this sort of thing. I can't sell things. I don't want to do that. It's not selling. I shared my passion. And when I shared my passion, everything just came naturally. And I had the mentorship, the support, the training that meant that I could do it really easily. And so there is no excuse. Everybody can do this. This is something that you can plug into, and you can do it with just a phone and a laptop. It is easy, believe me. So if you look at the ways of working, how do you want to work? Do you want to have a job that you just get paid, and if you don't work, you don't get paid? Do you want to have a small business where it's at risk if the economy goes down or if we have a shutdown? Or do you want to plug into an economic engine where the engine is actually working and you just stand by and you just reap whatever work you have done to be able to reap some money, some dollars? Financial freedom. Do it when you want, how you want. You don't have to do it 8 to 5, but you can also do this as well with number one. So you can have your job and you can have your economic engine or your websites at the same time. You don't have to do them differently. And that's what a lot of people do. And it's really interesting to see how many people have started off with having both. And then all of a sudden they realize what freedom this has given them, what freedom in time, what freedom in financial situation, what freedom in things that they want to do and how they want to do it. So how do you do this? Go back to the person who recommended you to this video. But basically you start off with a distributor pack, which gives you your own personalized website. How much does it cost to make a website? It costs thousands, okay? You will get your own personalized website where customers can go straight away and order. You don't have to do anything. Their order goes through a process. It goes to a distribution center, which is sent straight out to the customer. So you don't have to actually touch the product whatsoever. You do not have to hold stock or anything like that. You get a huge amount of mentorship, training. There's direct shipping. You get marketing, corporate support. All the legal things are done. Compliance is done. The accounting is done. They pay you into what they call a hyper wallet. So your funds are all there. And it's easy. So I would say, why not? I went in on a platinum pack because I believe if you're going to go for something, you go for the maximum, which is what I did. I got more product than what I had paid. And I was ahead of the game within the first month. And I don't know any small business that you can start up a business and be ahead in the first month. It just doesn't happen. So this is something really seriously to look at, and have a look and have a discussion with whoever recommended you today, because we want to talk about it. We want to tell you about it. We want to spread the news. We want to make everybody healthy and well, be it whatever way. And so it's really important for you to do that. And my question is, why not? Why wouldn't we? Thank you. Thank you for coming today. And thank you for listening.